Hey, this is a recap for July. If you've been tracking this with me with the energy of the Akashic Records, that's something I do every month. I've been doing that every month since like 2014. I like to track the energy with the Akashic field. And if you're new to my work, the Akashic Records is a field of energy and support and guidance that I work with to create, to support, to track what's going on, and to be mentored by myself and with my clients. And so, hi Karen. So the July Akashic theme, you might see it here on my profile, was about courage. This has been a really intense month, and it required a lot of courage. And a lot of the themes inside of that required such courage from us has been being willing to stay connected, to stay in participation, to see what's going on in the world, right? In some ways, it's like we all have some seeing fatigue. Oh, hey, Lynn. We all have some seeing fatigue. It's like there's just been so much to see, so much intense, heartbreaking suffering to see. And it requires courage to be willing to stay connected. Now, the other piece has been, this has been a month about boundaries. And so in order to stay connected, in order to stay in participation and to be who we're here to be and offer and share in the way we're here to be part of this transformative time on the planet, we need boundaries. You know, we need to be honest with the boundaries that are obvious and our body is telling us, and our mind is telling us, and our relationships are telling us, and life is telling us, right? Like we need to be in the courageous conversations with ourselves and with others to set boundaries with the energy itself, to set boundaries with our own patterns, and to set the boundaries we've needed. So that was kind of like the first half of the month, was like, whoa, there's a lot to feel. There's a lot, if we let it in, there's a lot of pain that's happening in the world. There's a lot of crisis. Like there's a lot going on in our own life. How do we stay connected? What is ours to be in participation with, right? And it's like, what are the boundaries that are so obvious that life is telling me, that I'm telling myself, and getting into those boundaries. The other half of the month has really been about what we can create. Like when we allow things to impact us and open our heart and crack us open, when we have the appropriate boundaries, like what are we here to create? What are we offering? What are we sharing? What have we already been creating this year? What do we want to create with the rest of this year? This is a confrontational year. It's a 9. It's about endings. It's about preparing for a really open new cycle for next year. So it's like, okay, I've gotten a lot of information this first half of this year. I've gotten a lot of information this first half of July. What am I creating with the next half of this month and this year? What have I already created? We also have been moving into Leo season. So it's like a lot is going to come up around visibility, how we want to be seen and expressed, because we all have medicine and we all have experiences where this full circle, the full cycle, the art, it fully lands and is fully created by being witnessed, by being seen. It's something that's meant to be shared, right? And so what I'm also really noticing, hey Suzanne, what I've also been really noticing in the second half of this month is having to really confront where we want to be seen and feel we're not being seen, right? Like how would we like to be seen and express and be expressing? Where are we actually really in pain that we're feeling misunderstood or unseen, unheard, or misrepresented? This second half of the month, now that we've had the boundaries and had those conversations and realized like this is a courage month and we're going to have to confront things with courage, has been about that, right? And it's also about revisiting a lot of things, right? So oftentimes if we're in pain about where we're not being seen, where we're not being heard, like there's an origin story there that's probably not from, this current moment as an adult. There's an origin story that started when we're younger. So there's just been, this second half has been a lot of revisiting of that. So just taking a couple breaths here. We're going to work with all of this energy because the sessions that I've been doing today feel like they're so beautifully landing the courageous, creative frequency of this month. And so just taking a breath here to relax. Letting the heart open, thanking your heart for what it's shared with you this month. Letting the body relax. Notice if you can just keep your body in kind of an open, receptive position. Really breathing this in, thanking yourself and your body and your mind, your spirit for having the courage to see what you've seen this month, to feel what you felt. And then as we're coming into August tomorrow, as we're really landing the energy of July, oh, you're in the air, you're in the airplane, that's amazing. As we're coming into the ending of this month and everything we've had to confront and look at courageously, we have the right boundaries. And so the message that has been coming from the Akashic Records today in process and sessions when the energy's like working with myself and clients, has been, all right, like you've created the creation space for August, and so you have the right boundaries. So now, what if the things that are irritating you, what if the things that have caused agitation this week, today, coming into August, what if they're actually not disruptions? What if they're not interruptions? What if they're absolutely supposed to be here inside of the boundaries you've created this month? And what if it's time to really let yourself receive? So the energy we're moving into August is less of the pushing away and more of the taking in, like more of a trust. If it's here, it's something for me to receive. If it's here, it's something for me to be with. If it's here, it's something that maybe I've been asking to experience. If it's here, it may be the relationship, the intimacy, the answer I've been asking for. And so we're moving into a month that's going to be more about reception. And so just taking a few breaths here. Now that you've connected with all the courage you've had to see and feel what you've seen and felt and participated in with July, really coming into August open, receptive. The other big message that has been coming in today is there's been so much courageous work of finally seeing like, oh, this is the thing where I just don't know if it can ever change. I don't know if these relationships can change. I don't know if this world can change. I don't know if I will ever get to be expressed in this way. I don't know how this changes yet, right? Like this courageous month has taken us through a lot of results and outcomes, but also when you're moving with courage, when you're finally confronting things, you don't necessarily have everything tied up by the 31st of the month. There may be things you are deeply in process with that you allowed to be initiated in July, because it's like, let's go. We're in the other half of a completion year. And so the other really strong message from the records today I've been getting in sessions is like, yeah, I don't know how this changes yet, but I'm not willing to shut down and like, scrunch up and not participate and not receive until I know. I don't know how this changes yet, and yet I'm willing to open and receive while I'm in that process. Sometimes, and many of us who write, if you've really experienced like a deep broken heart, like a real heartbreaking experience, the other thing about that is just like, now you're open, like now you're broken open. So that's the other piece I just want to invite you to feel here as we relax into the end of this really courageous month. Exhaling out, just letting the whole body relax, release what you don't need to bring into August. And then just letting yourself connect with your heart, really connect with what's alive as we're ending this month. Maybe you don't have the answer yet. Maybe you don't see how this transforms yet. Let that thing be in your heart. Whether it's part of your personal life or the collective story we're in. I don't know how this changes yet. I don't know when the transformation happens in a way that I can like actually experience and enjoy. I don't know when this looks different yet. Just holding that in your heart, whether it's been a personal or collective heartache for this month. For many of us, probably both, right? And I'm still going to be open and receptive. And I'm going to trust that I've created a space through all this courageous work in July, through all these confrontations that arrived for me in July. I'm going to trust I've made a space where there's things for me to receive here, where I can still connect and engage and enjoy. I don't know when this changes, but I have to be able to still participate in reality. I have to be willing to receive what's here. I'm willing to stay open. I'm willing to stay receptive. And so just feel yourself beginning to really come into the energy of August. The efforts of July, knowing that you'll be receiving the outcomes of that courageous effort in August. I'm willing to receive that. I don't know how this all changes yet. I don't know how it completely looks yet, but like, I did some incredible work in July. We all did, just by holding the field of humanity and being on planet Earth right now. And I'm willing to receive what's here for me in August. And so just taking a few more breaths here. Noticing where you could be like a little more open physically, where you could open your heart, your shoulders, your face. Hi, Catherine. And before we're completing, if you're just joining us, we're just kind of been recapping the courageous intensity of July, the boundaries we've set, the information we've received, the creations we've began, the confrontations we've been willing to come into rather than sidestep, and just recognize that August is about reception. It's going to be about receiving, even if we don't know how everything gets worked out yet, even if we don't know how we change these things that feel insurmountable in the world or in our own life at the moment. I'm open. I'm willing to be receptive and open. That's how we're going to come into August, with gratitude for what we created in July. With gratitude to know the story gets to continue. We're right here and we're right in that bridge point, and the story gets to continue in August. And the unfolding gets to continue, and we don't have to brace ourselves. We can relax into it. And it's okay to want what you want without quite knowing how it all goes yet. I'm just asking if there's anything else for us really to receive while we're all together in this space. Just allowing feeling to be part of what you're receiving. Because a lot of the things we're wanting to receive, as many of us know, right? It's actually a feeling. It's things we want in order to have a certain feeling. And so just allowing the reception of feeling to be as important as anything else. And you can allow yourself to receive a feeling at any time without anything needing to change in that moment. And so before we complete, just really calling in something you want to feel. Hey, Perry. Calling in something you want to feel, getting in touch with that frequency. And relaxing the body, opening the body to that. And the next breath in, just breathing that in, the frequency of that feeling. Letting it land where you really need it. I'm really feeling the heart. And letting that feeling, that frequency that you want to receive as we move out of this courageous July into August, to really be your partner this month. To really let this frequency be what you're entering August with. To trust you can have that. You can have that feeling and experience can be reflected and created in many ways and received in many ways in August. We'll just stay here for a couple more breaths. Taking a couple more breaths into the heart. Thanking your heart for such a courageous July. To have your heart open in this month. To create from your heart in this month. It took courage to stay connected. To respond from your heart. It took courage and you did it. Now feeling the door opening to August, trusting there can be beauty, there can be transformation, there can be life. There can be many things we want to receive here. And we're going to stay open, we're going to stay receptive, knowing that what we needed to clear during this time we've released, and what you needed to connect with and receive is with you. I'm just sending gratitude to the guides and the guardians of the Akasha, and to the technology that's allowing this connection, and to each person here and the way in which you've brought your courage into your community, your world, your life, your relationships. Thank you. And for now, we're breathing back into existence. The door between worlds and the records are closed, and so it is. Just giving ourselves a little taste of the following month, and the feeling I'm really feeling here. The feeling I'm really feeling here is like just a warm embrace. Let this month embrace you. Let this be a month where you receive. See if you can allow things to become something you can receive rather than something that's like a disruption, Like it's time to open the door and sort of let ourselves receive what we need. Oh, I'm glad you stopped in too. Yeah, so we're getting going. This was just a little something to drop in after a wild month that required a lot from us to stay connected and to stay open. And now we're going to come into a month that feels, I'm sure, like it's going to have all sorts of things, and we don't know how it all gets to change yet. But this is a month that is asking for our reception to maybe say yes before we explain why we can't have that yet, or why that's inconvenient, right? Like we already created the boundaries we really needed in July. And you get to hold those for August. But notice, what if it actually is the moment for you to receive that and make space for something that could be nourishing, that could be connecting? So that's what I'm feeling today. I was very inspired by, that message coming in so strongly today. Feel free to comment here if there's anything you want to share about July or what you just felt in this experience. And I look forward to more time together in August. All right. Have a beautiful day.